to, most importantly, our health habits. And colleagues, you would know that, I think, let me just share this quite briefly. I think when we grew up, most of us, we were actually eating because we have to finish the food. We were not necessarily eating because we are hungry, but we have to eat because you are hungry and you have to finish the food. So at the end of the day, hence, to some extent, maybe for that, it had a negative impact, actually, even up them growing up knowing that you eat to finish the food, you don't eat to, to be full in a normal way. However, we don't know even what is the normal way of being full. But most another issue again is that sometimes we find ourselves, in a space whereby unhealthy eating is caused by quite a number of factors, especially different stresses, be it may in a professional space or be it may in our personal spaces or different spheres of life. But colleagues, today we are fortunate enough to have the Health First team that is here to also take us through how or advise us on how we can improve on our healthy eating. Yes, I understand some of us or some of you, or including every one of us, we are all trying to be healthy in different ways. And I must say, maybe today we are fortunate, or not even maybe, but we are fortunate to have Moloki and Alfred Tabanyeza today from Health First to, advise us. Without any waste of time, I'm going to hand over to Alfred Tabanyeza, who is the head of Health First Consulting and Wellness Organization. And Mr. Tabanyeza will also introduce our speaker for the day. And indando narodiwanga manda and botaganezwa mtanganoni. Over to you.
Ndaunduna, and greetings to the Gtac colleagues. Welcome once again. So today's session is about healthy eating habits. And as Health First, we have requested one of our dietitian Muloko Mihlape, to facilitate today's session. Muloko is a registered dietitian by profession, and he's been in practice over the past over 10 years, in fact. And she holds a master's degree in dietetics from the University of Pretoria, where she has actually measured in sports nutrition. Currently, she is studying towards her PhD at Sefako Mahato University. And she is also a consulting dietitian at Health First, where she provides diet and nutrition advisory services to employees at various organizations. She's also on a part-time basis lecturing at the University of Pretoria and SMU, Sefako University, and she's been doing that for the past 3 years. Her special area of interest includes weight management, chronic health management, and women's health, blood results analysis, and also assessment of food and fluid. Very often, I know that during this time of the year, we often say we want to reward ourselves because Christmas comes once in a year, and that's where we just go and basically eat whatever that we are eating without really knowing whether it is good or bad for us. So her aim is to really equip people to live their healthiest lives without, through evidence-based nutrition education. And when Muloko is not focusing on her work as a dietitian, she is a mother of two. And for those of you who might be thinking maybe she's beautiful and they will need her number, you must know also that, she's also a loving wife, and she believes that proper planning and balance helps her to juggle her life as a dietitian, as an academic, as a student, as a wife and mother, that is, in terms of her multiple caregiving roles. She also ran her practice based in Centurion, Krugersdorp, Olifantsfontein. And in her field of work, she has dealt with patients ranging from infants to old people, surgical and psychiatric patients, as well as people with certain chronic conditions like, high blood pressure, diabetes, and malnutrition. Some of you might have seen Moloko on various media platforms because she's also a regular guest speaker on various radio and TV stations. Let us welcome dietitian Moloko Mitlape. Thank you.
Hi everyone. First, excuse my background. As you know, we are living in load shedding days, so there's no electricity at home. I had to park my car somewhere to project this presentation, but I hope everyone can see me and I'm clear.
All right, Moloko, I will present from my laptop and you will just indicate if I should move to the next slide just to make things easier for you. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, just a second. All right, in the interim, while I'm putting up the slide, Moloko, colleagues, this session is recorded and it will be uploaded on the Gtac YouTube channel under the Fundanati playlist. As you are aware that we are also making it easy for a point of reference for everyone, even those that you would like to also get information from this session. And also, most importantly, just to indicate that you are also free to request it on email as a presentation itself. Loco, just indicate if it's all good. And also just to check if will you be comfortable to take questions during the presentation, or you prefer to take questions at the end of your presentation?
I think it's better to take them after the presentation.
All right, no problem then. Over to you.
All right, thank you. As introduced, I'm a dietitian and I am really passionate about teaching people on how to eat healthy and improve our lives. Okay, first I need to indicate the significance of nutrition in our lives. So nutrition plays a very vital role in our life, even before an individual is born. So also it will continue affecting our lives for better or worse based on the food choices that we are making. There is a saying that says, every time you are eating, it's either you are feeding a disease or you are preventing it. So every time we're making food choices, we need to ask ourselves this question: am I feeding a disease or am I preventing it? Of course, we are allowed as individuals to have unhealthy food or treats once in a while, but regular consumption of such foods can have adverse health effects like your type 2 diabetes, your high blood pressure, your heart disease, and your strokes. So every time you are eating, ask yourself if you are preventing or you are feeding a disease. So we usually say an individual is allowed to eat healthy at least 90% of the time. Try and eat healthy 90% of the time, but there is that 10% that we reserve for treats. Treats are food that we love, but they're high in sugar, they're high in fat, they're high in salt, and energy. So it means we cannot have them all the time. It is okay to have a burger once in a while, but if you're going to have a burger today and then on Sunday it's you and pizza, and then on Monday is you and another takeaway, it means unhealthy eating is taking most of your diet. Can we move? Okay. So carelessness about food choices from our youth can lead to chronic diseases later in life. So when we are eating unhealthy, we might think that it is not harming us because the side effects don't happen instantly. It will take years for the side effects to appear in our health. So we need to make really conscious food choices, and then including. Okay, thank you. So we need to make conscious food choices to prevent chronic diseases of lifestyle, or also known as non-communicable diseases, including heart diseases, cancers, your type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. So there are many factors that affect an individual's food choices. It can be personal preferences. People will tell you that I don't like this, I don't like that. It can be out of habits. Some people select food choices out of habits, like when we used to not having breakfast, especially men. They will tell you that I'm not used to having breakfast. It's a habit that one has adopted, but it can be fixed. And then it can be out of ethnic or heritage or tradition. Some people eat food they grew up eating. Like myself, I always eat soft porridge most of the time in the morning, mabele porridge, because that is what I grew up eating. Availability is one of the factors, convenience and economy as well. So also people eat food that they can afford, and availability as well is one of the factors. It's unfortunate that we are living in days of load shedding, where we are not always having time or to prepare healthy meals. A lot of us have to rely on takeaways, but there are healthier ways of doing this. I'll go through it later on the presentation on how to survive this load shedding. So social interaction, most of the time when we're having meeting, is not always in offices. Sometimes we meet in restaurants, and that's where most of the unhealthy eating happens. And then other people eat because of emotional comfort. There are people who eat a lot when they are stressed. There are other people who just don't eat when they are stressed. And then only a few people eat based on, and the food choices are based on their body weight or image, and another smaller percentage, other people choose food based on their nutrition and health benefits. It was going to be better if most of us we choose food based on their health benefits. Like I said, we are allowed to have treats here and there, but most of the time we need to make healthier food choices. So good nutrition is critical for any society and each individual's well-being. So maintaining a healthy body weight and prevention of chronic diseases is part of us eating healthy. And then it also increases life expectancy. When you are eating healthy, you are more likely to live longer. So nowadays we're doing all these employee wellnesses, and with my experience, I see some older people who exercise, who eat healthy. They look much younger than they are, and they have less risk factors for heart diseases and strokes. So now let's talk about workplace nutrition. On average, 60% of nutrition is consumed within the working hours. Therefore, the workplace has been identified as an important setting for implementing diet-related intervention and improving physical and well-being. This is the reason most employers are doing all these employee wellness days, presentations, and sometimes assessments. So approximately 10% of sick leave in the workplace can be attributed to nutrition and lifestyle factors. So if we continue eating healthy, we are exercising, we are drinking enough water, we are more likely to be more present at work because we won't be sick. You know, when your blood pressure is high, you'll wake up with sometimes you'll wake up with migraines, headaches. So it will force you to report sick at work. But if we are making healthier food choices, then all these sick leaves will be reduced as well. So poor nutrition can impact energy levels and decision making at work. If you are used to waking up with fat cakes, you are used to waking up with a mountain of pap, you are less likely to be productive at work. But if you have packed a nutritious breakfast, or you've eaten something nutritious, even if it's something light, like oats with low-fat milk and a banana and peanut butter inside, that is a light meal that is packed with a lot of nutrients, that is going to give you energy, that is going to give you fiber. You're going to be regular even when you go and do number two. So it's very important to make healthier food choices when you go to work. So there are principles or guidelines that we use to guide people to eat healthy. So the first one is we need to enjoy a variety of food. Enjoying a variety of food means eating more than one food group at each meal. So most of us, we are used to eating pap maybe as our starch. So it's very important that we don't just eat pap. Today it's pap, tomorrow it is rice, and the next day it is your pasta, then the other day is potatoes, because although all these food groups are starches, they have different nutrition content, or they have different nutrition profile. So it's very important that when we are having them, we have a variety of them. And also eating different foods on different days. You know, it's very important. You can have a little menu at home when you're saying Monday we are having rice, Tuesday is potato day, or Monday we are having fish, Tuesday is grilled chicken, so that we have a variety of food. And they also need to be prepared in different healthy ways. Like we bake, we boil, we steam, and we grill. We don't recommend that people fry food in oil. Nowadays, we do have air fryers, which requires us, and which doesn't require us to use fat. So we can use, if we are privileged enough to have such, we can use them instead of frying in deep frying food, because that is a risk for high cholesterol levels. Then the other principle is, or the other guideline is, we need to make starchy food the basis of most of every meal. Most of the time, I listen to clients or people in the streets saying, I'm trying to be healthy. I'm going to stop eating starches. I'm no longer eating pap. I'm no longer eating bread. I'm no longer eating rice because I'm trying to be healthy. But people need to know that starchy foods are the most important food groups, because they give you energy. If you stop eating starch, you won't have energy. And starches also give us what we call fiber. Fiber is the roughage in food that is not digestible. So it helps to bulk the stool so that we don't get constipated. And it's also food for the gut. For us to have a healthy gut, we need to have fiber-rich foods. So by that saying, I mean we need to have mostly brown whole wheat starches. They are the highest in fiber. So they also help to control the sugar levels and the cholesterol levels. And they also make you feel full for a long period of time because of that fiber. So fiber makes the starches to be low in GI, meaning they will take time to digest. When they take time to digest, it means sugar is being raised at a very slow pace until it doesn't cause, brown starches don't cause sugar spikes. I'll give an example. If a person eats 2 slices of brown bread, you can be full by eating that. But with the white bread, 2 slices are not enough, because there is no fiber, there is no roughage. You are forced to eat 4 or even 6 slices, because there is no fiber in there. So being low in fiber, white starches being low in fiber, it means they are getting digested at a very rapid rate. They then cause what we call sugar spikes. They increase your blood sugar levels above average, putting you at risk of other chronic diseases of lifestyle. So starchy foods, porridge, bread, rice, mealy rice, your samp, your potatoes, your pasta, your cornflakes, your all bran flakes, and oats. All those are healthy starches that we can have. The browner the starch, the more the fiber. So if you have an option to choose between all bran flakes and cornflakes, choose all bran flakes, because the fiber is more. Your gut is going to be more happy. If you have an option of choosing between a white sandwich and a brown sandwich, choose the brown one, because the fiber is more there. So also we need to increase our fruits and vegetable intake. South Africans have a very poor intake of fruits and vegetables in general. So fruits and vegetables are food for the immunity. They have different types of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are meant to fight diseases. So we do recommend that people have 5 portions of fruits and vegetables daily, not 5 fruits, 5 vegetables, but it can be 2 fruits, 3 vegetables, or it can be through fruits to vegetables. And also when we are having them, it's very important to have a variety of them. Don't just say I like apples and you're just having apples. Have apples, we say eat a rainbow, meaning have different colors of fruits and vegetables, because they fight different types of diseases. There are fruits and vegetables that fight your flus, viral infections, your bacterial infections. There are others that fight heart diseases and cancer. So it's very important to have a variety of them. Have your yellows, have your greens, have your oranges, have your reds, your grapes, your berries, and all that. Don't just eat one type of fruits and vegetables. Okay. And then the other guideline says that we need to eat dry beans, split beans, and lentils regularly. I've seen on social media people promoting what we call meatless Mondays. It's mainly to encourage people to have plant-based sources of protein, mainly because they prevent constipation. They are high in fiber as well. And they also help to maintain the blood sugar levels and blood cholesterol levels. And then this type of protein as well, it is low in fat. It is fat free. So unlike when we're having meat every day. So the Heart Health Foundation says if we are replacing our meat with plant-based sources of protein, like your beans, split beans, lentils, and soya, 2 to 3 times a week, we are preventing heart diseases. So once in a while, stay away from meat. We can also join the Meatless Monday movement, where on Mondays we're not having meat at all. Because as much as meat is protein, it comes with what we call saturated fat. Saturated fat is the type of fat, when you eat it, when it gets to your blood vessels, it deposits in your blood vessels and reduces the size of your blood vessels, putting you at risk of high blood pressure, your type 2 diabetes, your strokes, and your heart diseases. So I know this having this type of food group is associated with poverty, but having this is much better for your health than having. I've seen a lot of people moving towards the plant-based sources of protein and having like huge health results. So it's very important that once 2 to 3 times a week you replace your meat with this beans and lentils and soya regularly. And we need to be careful with soya. It has a little bit extra fat, so extra salt. So when we're having it, we need to avoid adding extra salt to it. We can add herbs like your paprikas. We can add your mixed herbs. We can add your parsley to it instead of the salt. Okay, and then chicken, fish, meat, milk, and eggs can be eaten regularly. That is another guidelines. These are food for our muscles. These are food for our bones and our teeth. So, but we need to be really careful with this food group. Like I said, some of this, like eating chicken with its skin, that skin is itself is the cholesterol. So we need to really be careful and eat skinless chicken. We don't remove the chicken skin when it's already done. So we remove the chicken skin before we cook, or we can start with buying skinless chicken from the shop. And then when we are having red meat, we also need to remove the visible fat before we can start cooking. And we need to have chicken more often, chicken, fish. On average, we need to have fish twice in a week. So, and we are not frying it. For us to meet our omega-3 requirements, we need to have fish twice in a week. One can be in the form of tinned fish, then the other time it can be in the form of hake. And yes, yeah, we need to have it twice. So if you're not having your fish twice in a week, you need to have an omega-3 supplementation that has 1,000 milligrams of omega-3. So we need to stay away from processed meats. Like I said, your polony, your Vienna, your Russian, and your bacon. They are processed, so they add a lot of fat to preserve them to last for a long period. So they come with a lot of fat and a lot of salt, which is a risk for all these diseases that we are trying to avoid. So we need to, no, can you go back? We need to eat fat sparingly, and then we need to buy fruits and vegetables instead of fried snacks from the vendors. We're not saying don't have your Simba chips, have them once in a while. And also when you're having them, Have smaller portions. Don't finish that big pack because you haven't been eating them in a while. We're not saying people should not have their chocolates once in a while. We can have that, but opt for the darker chocolate, which has more of unsaturated fat, which is good for the heart. Okay, we need to use salt sparingly. We need to use smaller amounts of salt when cooking, and we need to add little salt, and we can use other seasonings to our food. Things like your curry, your herbs, your garlic, your vinegar, and lemon can be used to season the food. So most of us, when we cook, we add 4 different salts in one pot. It is salt, it is spice, your beef stock, and your packet soups. Those are a lot of salts. In a day, an individual needs to have 1 teaspoon of salt for the whole day. And this amount also counts the one that exists naturally in food. So most of us, we are consuming that 1 teaspoon in one meal. We will have bread with acha, with Vienna, with bacon, with eggs that we add a lot of fat. Not that eggs are bad, but we add like the table salt. The other dangerous form of salt is the table salt, the salt that you add when your food is already cooked. That is the type of fat that will increase your blood pressure above average. So we need to avoid it. Once the food is cooked, we need to stop adding the table salt. I've seen some people even add the salt before they could even taste. They can even taste their food. That is a bad habit that we need to let go of. So we need to drink lots of clean, safe water. I'm sure by now we all know that we need to have at least 8 glasses of water per day. So instead of having a cold drink or a fizzy drink or a juice with every meal, have water, because all this even if it's 100% juice, because it's made from fruits that are too ripe, it comes with a lot of sugar that can increase your blood sugar levels above average. Now, so we need to drink water with meals. We're not saying don't drink juices, but once in a while. And also the 100% juice, you can dilute it. We use the 125 mils cup to measure it. So it's half a cup juice, half a cup water. In that way, it counts as a portion of a fruit. Remember, I said previously that we need to have 5 portions of fruits and vegetables. So when you are having fruit juice that is diluted, it counts as a portion of a fruit. Although we do recommend that you have mostly fruits in their whole form, because they come with fiber, where else the 100% juice doesn't come with the fiber. So what I've seen that works to increase the water intake is having a water bottle like at your desk. When you're at work, if you put 1 liter of water, you'll finish it by lunchtime, then you refill it. But if there is no water at site, you are less likely to drink 2 liters of water daily. And when it's too hot, we can even drink 2 to 3 waters. And then before exercising, you can also consume your water, not a lot of it though. And then we can also have like 1 glass just before brushing your teeth. And for those who don't enjoy water at all, we can try and make it enjoyable by adding some lemon to it. We can add some ginger to it, berries to it. I know a lot of people think drinking lemon water makes you lose weight or it helps you to burn fat or anything like that. That is not true. The reason of infusing water with fruit is mainly to improve the taste, and also because we're adding fruits and the fruits that are high in vitamins and minerals. It means we will be increasing our vitamin and mineral intake as well. So we need to also limit alcohol intake. The reason being, it damages the liver, it causes dehydration, it increases your blood pressure, and it also puts you at risk of a lot of chronic diseases of lifestyle. It also puts stress on your kidneys and affects your motor skills. If you drink a lot of alcohol, it means you won't be productive at work as well. The other thing that we need to do is to be active. So being active doesn't mean we all have to have a gym membership. We can also be busy at home, cleaning the house, working in the garden, and then walking to the clinic, to the shop, to the church. Our phone nowadays, they can count steps. So most of us, we can aim for between 8,000 and 1,000 steps in a day. They count as physical activity instead of using steps or the elevators. I mean, instead of using the elevators, you can use your steps to increase your steps during working hours. So, and then the other thing that we can eat is mopani yams. A lot of people think healthy eating is fancy or it has to be westernized, but healthy eating needs to accommodate our traditional foods as well. It doesn't mean because we're eating healthy now we're having couscous and all these fancy things. Also, mopani worms can be part of the diet. So I'm sure most of us know mopani worms. They are sun dried so that they can be fresh for longer. They are preserved. They're actually very high in fiber. In a day, an adult needs 30 grams of fiber in their diet. So mopani worms can be apart from fruits, vegetables, and whole wheat starches, mopani worms can help us meet our 30 grams fiber requirements. So they are also very high in iron, zinc, and calcium. Zinc is very much involved in boosting our immunity, calcium for the bones, and iron for our blood. So 100 grams of mopani worms contain double zinc required for a day. So mopani worms can actually replace all the supplements that we are always buying in the shops as well. So I'm sure there's some of us who are eating this. I do recommend that you continue eating mopani worms because they are very packed with nutrients. Okay, then pap. I think I've touched on this that most people think pap is bad for us, but pap is some of the traditional foods that we grew up eating. It is part of the starch that gives us energy, and then it is fortified with vitamins and minerals, and it also restores nutrients lost. The issue with pap is uh, during the milling they are refining it. So when they refine it, the fiber is lost. No? So it doesn't have much fiber compared to other starches. But it doesn't mean we cannot have it. We can make sure that when we are having pap, there's always a high fiber vegetable and a protein. So having a high fiber vegetable like spinach and cabbage increases the fiber content of the whole meal. But we shouldn't have it every day. Like I said, some days have potatoes, some days have your corn. Yes, corn is a starch. I've seen a lot of people saying, I'm no longer eating starch, but they're eating potatoes, they are eating your pumpkin, your corn, and your green peas. Although those things are known to be vegetables, they don't count as vegetables. They count as starchy vegetables. They fall under the starchy group. So this means we need to avoid on a Sunday having rice with potato salad, with pumpkin, with corn, with a pea salad because it's 5 starches in one that are going to cause serious health problems. So, like I said, we need to pair up with vegetables to make sure that the fiber content of the whole meal is up there. So now let's talk about portion control, which is very important. So instead of pointing out one food group to say I'm stopping my pap or my rice because it's making me gain weight, we need to focus on portion control. Every food group in moderation. We have 4 different types of food groups. They don't function the same in the body. Starch gives you energy and fiber. Vitamins and minerals your fruits and vegetables give you vitamins, minerals, and antioxidant for your immunity. Your protein gives you your calcium, your iron, your vitamin B12. So we all need these food groups for each meal because they perform different functions. We also have healthy fat as part of the diet. When we say people should avoid fat, we are referring to the fat that is in your chicken skin, the fat that is on your meat as well. Hence, we're saying you should remove it. We are referring to the fat that is in your KFCs, your cakes, and all that. But there is the type of fat that your body needs for your brain health, for your heart health, and for your skin health. This is the type of fat that we get from your avocado, from your nuts. From your seeds in your cereal, you can add 1 teaspoon of chia seeds. That is quite healthy. We get this fat in your canola oil, olive oil, and sunflower oil, and your margarine as well. But when we're buying these oils, we need to make sure they have the Heart Health Foundation logo. It has a heart, a fork, and a knife, meaning it is good for your heart. So we need to have this fat in moderation, meaning you cannot have a full avocado. Like, you need to make it a quarter, or you can, when you're having your margarine, can be 1 teaspoon. Also, peanut butter is part of the healthy fat. So when we are portioning our food, we use what we call a plate model. Okay, I think there is a slide. Okay, I think there's a missing slide here, but I'll explain. So when we are measuring, when we're using the plate model, we have a plate. Half of your plate should be vegetables. So it's the size of your two hands, like this. Those are vegetables. They need to take half of your plate. Ne? Most of us, half of our plate is starch, but starch should actually take a quarter of your plate is the size of your fist. So if we're trying to measure it with household measurements, we can use the 250 mils cup, which is the cup that we use for tea, or the one that we use measuring the flour when we are baking. So it's just the size of your fist. So one meal, when we are having lunch, your rice should be the size of your fist. Your vegetables, the size of your open two hands. So it can be a salad, or it can be two different vegetables. And when we're having the meat, we are saying is the size of your palm, which is 100 gram. So in that way, when you look at your plate, half of it will be vegetables, a quarter will be starch, and a quarter will be protein. That is how we do a portion control. You might feel like these are small portions, but what we do encourage is people to have um, what we call snacks between their meals. So snacks are small meals like a fruit and a yogurt, or it can be a fruit with a handful of nuts, or it can be a slice of bread with peanut butter. Why do we encourage people to have snacks? We don't want you to overeat on the next meal. Hence, we're saying the portions that I've showed you now. So having snacks in between your meals helps you not to overeat on the next meal, and it also helps you not to eat the wrong food on the next meal. If you're too hungry, you're going to make very bad food choices. But if you had snacks in between your meals, then your food choices will be much better. I'm sure a lot of us have tried doing grocery shopping on an empty stomach. When you do grocery shopping on an empty stomach, your basket is filled with fatty, salty, and sweet things. But if you eat before you go grocery shopping, you come back with a better basket. Hence, we're saying have snacks between meals so that you don't eat when you're too hungry. You'll make bad food choices. So, in conclusion, we can say everyday food choices that you make will affect your health, your life, and your well-being and your performance at work. So we need eating well, keeping active, not smoking and drinking alcohol, and looking after your mental health can all help you stay well and enjoy life. From pregnancy, birth, childhood, teenage years, into adulthood, old age, healthy food choices are very important. So we're not saying because you are young, you can eat whatever you want. You are never too young or too old to watch your health and your lifestyle. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Moloko. That was so a mouthful. As much as we are talking about food, and most importantly, what I like most is the fact that, as much as we are trying to eat healthy and all that, I think maybe then it's a myth that pap might not be good. But I also heard you mentioning that, a table mountain or Kilimanjaro of pap is also not healthy. But with that said, colleagues, I'm going to open a floor for questions and inputs as well, based on the presentation also, just to allow you to express how you feel after this insightful presentation. But over and above, that was so interesting, and I must say, for Mopane worms, I guess then others will need some bravery as well to, to eat them. Fortunately, for some of us who grew up eating them, it's easy to just take them as a snack. Colleagues, with the raise of your hands, you can indicate if you have any questions, input, or just to comment on the presentation. Thanks. Um, while we're still waiting for those hands, you can also put something on the chat, or reaction. Oh, okay. Cindy Siwentuli, hi, how to reduce sugar cravings? That's the question from Cindy Siwe. While you responded to that, we'll wait for other questions. Thanks.
Okay. Part of reducing sugar cravings is having smaller, frequent meals. When you spend too much time without eating, your blood sugar levels drop. Now, when your blood sugar levels drop, your body will try and communicate with you to tell you that your blood sugar levels are low by inducing cravings. That is why when you are hungry, you will crave really sweet things or you crave really salty things. So when you are having smaller, frequent meals, regular meals, maybe breakfast, after 2 hours you snack, after 2 hours it's lunch, and then after 2-3 hours it's another snack. After 2-3 hours, it is a supper. In that way, your blood sugar levels will be normal. They will be regulated. That can reduce the cravings.
Thank you so much. I think one of the questions that I would just put on the table is that um people gain weight overnight and they hope to lose weight overnight. And I must say, maybe from talking from my personal experience, is the fact that at some point I embarked on a weight loss journey from 2012. Even today, I'm still working on maintaining it. And part of it, it goes well, obviously, with the diet and all that. But how can you also advise people or colleagues on the level of food intake, especially when you are on, kind of a weight loss program and all that? Because the challenge is that people get sick while they're trying to work on their body weight and all that, and that affect their health itself. So, what can be your take in that regard, or what
Okay.
advice rather? Yeah.
The first thing that I want everyone to know is that the normal rate of losing weight is between half a kg and a kg in a week. So in a month, we are looking at 2 to 4 kg. Ne? So, and also remember that your body has different parts. It has the fat part, the bone part, the muscle part, and the water part. Ne? So if you are actually losing the fat, you will be losing between half a kg and a kg in a week, which is around 2 to 4 kg in a month. But if you embark on a healthy eating journey or an exercising journey where you are losing quite a lot of weight, like 5 kg a week or 4 kg a week, then you might be losing the wrong weight, which is water, which is muscles, and your bone density. And all those three shouldn't go down when you are trying to reduce your weight. Only the fat should go down. So if you are trying to eat healthy, you can just follow the portion sizes that I've showed you, and then you also snack in between your meals. You exercise at least 4 to 5 times a week, 150 minutes a week recommended. And we also be patient. So we are looking at 2 to 4 kg weight loss in a month. We need to be patient.
Thanks, Muluk. I mean, I must say we are approaching that time. They always say summer bodies are made in winter and all that, the peer pressure that comes with it. But I mean, obviously, somewhere somehow it should be a lifestyle. And colleagues, since there are no questions or hands just for comments or inputs, then we will be concluding and wrapping up for the day. Just to extend my thanks to you, Moloko, and Alfred Tabanyeza, for affording us this opportunity to learn more about healthy eating habits, and also to also appreciate the Gtac wellness team, just to make sure that we get this information that works out well for our daily lives and benefit. And most importantly, also to appreciate colleagues for availing yourself on this wonderful Friday. And thank you so much for availing yourself. Again, this material will be uploaded on YouTube, and also to highlight that you can also get it on request if it's a presentation. Colleagues, with that said, let me not waste your time. It's a Friday. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.